Have you ever noticed how the same problems keep showing up in your life? Different people, different situations, but somehow the same pain, the same frustration, the same struggle returns again and again. You solve one problem and another appears. You escape one situation and life sends you another version of it. It almost feels like life is testing you, like you're stuck in a loop. But what if I told you something powerful? Your problems are not random. They are not punishment. And they are definitely not there to destroy you. They are messages. And until you understand the secret hidden inside those messages, the problems will keep coming back. Because life is trying to teach you something. Most people believe that when something goes wrong in life, it must be a punishment. When difficulties appear, they immediately think they did something wrong or that life is somehow against them. But the truth is very different. Problems are not punishment. They are messages meant to guide you toward growth and awareness. Life communicates with us through experiences, and sometimes the only way it can get our attention is through challenges. When everything is comfortable and easy, people rarely stop to reflect or question their direction. Struggles force us to pause, think deeply, and look at our lives from a different perspective. Every problem carries information. It shows you something about your habits, your mindset, your relationships, or the way you react to situations. For example, if someone repeatedly experiences conflict in relationships, the issue may not only be the people around them, but also the patterns they carry within themselves. The problem becomes a signal pointing to an area that needs healing, understanding, or change. Instead of seeing the challenge as an attack, it can be seen as guidance pushing a person toward becoming wiser and stronger. Growth rarely happens in comfort. The moments that shape people the most are often the moments that test them. Challenges reveal strengths that were hidden and weaknesses that need improvement. They encourage patience, resilience, humility, and self-awareness. When someone begins to view problems as messages instead of punishments, their entire perspective shifts. Rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they begin asking, "What is this situation trying to teach me?" This mindset transforms frustration into curiosity and resistance into learning. Over time, this understanding allows people to move through difficulties with more clarity and purpose, seeing every challenge as a step that leads them toward becoming a better and more conscious version of themselves. Life has a mysterious way of repeating the same situations until we truly understand the lesson hidden inside them. Many people notice patterns in their lives, but rarely stop to think about why those patterns exist. Someone may experience the same type of conflict in different relationships, struggle with similar financial problems again and again, or constantly feel stuck no matter how many times they try to start fresh. On the surface, it may seem like bad luck or unfortunate circumstances, but in reality, life is often presenting the same lesson in different forms until personal growth takes place. Imagine a student in school who refuses to learn a topic. The teacher will not simply ignore it and move forward. The student must understand the material before progressing to the next level. Life works in a very similar way. Each challenge is like a lesson designed to help us develop patience, awareness, responsibility, or inner strength. If the lesson is ignored, avoided, or blamed on others, the situation tends to return later, sometimes in a slightly different form, but carrying the same core message. This is why simply changing external conditions rarely solves deeper issues. A person might leave one job for another and one relationship and enter another, or move to a different place hoping things will improve. Yet the same frustrations can appear again because the internal pattern has not changed. Life is not repeating the problem to make someone suffer. It is repeating the opportunity to grow. The moment a person becomes aware of their role in the situation and begins to change their mindset, behavior, or understanding, the cycle begins to break. When the lesson is finally understood, the repeated struggle loses its purpose. The person has become stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling life differently. Growth happens not when problems disappear instantly, but when we evolve into someone who no longer needs the same lesson to be repeated. Many people believe that the chaos they experience in life comes only from the outside world. They blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for the stress and difficulties they face. While external events certainly play a role, a large part of what we experience is connected to our inner state. The way we think, the beliefs we hold, and the emotions we carry inside often shape how situations unfold around us. When there is confusion, fear, or negativity within, it can influence our decisions, reactions, and relationships, which eventually creates chaos in our external environment. Our inner world acts like a lens through which we see everything. If someone constantly expects disappointment, they may unconsciously interpret situations in a negative way or behave defensively with others. This can lead to misunderstandings, tension, and conflict, which then appear to confirm their belief that life is difficult or unfair. On the other hand, when a person develops clarity, patience, and self-awareness inside, their responses to challenges begin to change. They become calmer in stressful moments, more thoughtful in their decisions, and more understanding in their relationships. As a result, many external conflicts begin to decrease. This does not mean that every problem in life is entirely our fault, but it highlights the powerful connection between our internal state and the reality we experience. When someone takes time to reflect on their thoughts, attitudes, and emotional patterns, they often discover areas where small changes can lead to big improvements in their life. Inner alignment means that a person's values, actions, and mindset are working together rather than pulling in different directions. When this alignment is missing, life can feel scattered and overwhelming. But when it begins to develop, even difficult situations become easier to navigate. By focusing on strengthening the inner world through awareness, honesty, and personal growth, people often find that the chaos outside gradually begins to settle as well. Many people spend a large part of their lives blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for the problems they face. When something goes wrong, the natural reaction is to look outward and search for someone or something to hold responsible. While it may feel comforting to believe that the cause of our struggles lies entirely outside of us, this mindset often keeps us stuck in the same cycle of frustration. Blame creates a sense of powerlessness, because if everything depends on external factors, then we have very little control over improving our lives. Real change begins the moment a person shifts their focus inward. Instead of asking who is at fault, they begin asking what they can learn and how they can grow from the situation. This shift in perspective is powerful because it moves a person from the role of a victim to the role of someone who has the ability to influence their own future. Taking responsibility does not mean accepting guilt for everything that happens, but it does mean recognizing that our choices, attitudes, and reactions shape the direction of our lives. When people stop blaming and start transforming themselves, they begin to develop qualities that allow them to handle challenges more effectively. They become more patient during difficult moments, more thoughtful in their decisions, and more aware of patterns that once caused repeated problems. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, they begin to respond with clarity and understanding. Over time, these small internal changes create significant differences in the way life unfolds. Personal transformation also encourages growth in areas that might have been ignored before. People begin improving their mindset, building healthier habits, and strengthening their emotional resilience. As they change, their relationships, opportunities, and overall experiences begin to shift as well. What once seemed like an endless series of problems gradually turns into a path of development, where each challenge becomes an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more capable of creating a better life. Gratitude and awareness have a powerful ability to transform the way we experience challenges in life. When people go through difficult situations, their first reaction is often frustration, anger, or disappointment. These emotions are natural, but when someone stays in that mindset for too long, it becomes harder to see any positive meaning behind the struggle. The problem begins to feel like a burden with no purpose. However, when a person develops the habit of gratitude and awareness, their perspective begins to change in a meaningful way. Awareness means taking a step back and observing what is happening without immediately reacting with negativity. It allows a person to look deeper into a situation and ask what lesson might be hidden within it. Instead of seeing only pain or inconvenience, they start noticing the ways the experience might be encouraging growth, patience, strength, or understanding. This shift does not remove the challenge itself, but it opens the mind to learning from it rather than simply resisting it. Gratitude works alongside awareness by helping people recognize that even difficult moments can contain something valuable. Being grateful does not mean pretending that problems are enjoyable, but it means acknowledging that challenges often help shape character and reveal inner strength. Many people later realized that the moments they once considered the hardest in their lives were also the ones that helped them develop resilience, wisdom, and a deeper appreciation for what truly matters. When gratitude becomes part of a person's mindset, it gradually reduces feelings of helplessness and replaces them with a sense of purpose. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by problems, individuals begin to see them as opportunities to grow and evolve. This outlook encourages patience during tough times and builds confidence that every experience, whether positive or negative, is contributing to a larger journey of personal development and understanding.